This is exactly where all the Google ad agencies are going to struggle mightily in the coming year. So in November of 2021, Google introduced something called Performance Max. Performance Max is the one campaign type to rule them all. In effect, taking all the Google platforms, which include Google Display, Google Search, YouTube, Discovery, Maps, Gmail, all of their ad platforms, combining them into one under one campaign type that finally leverages all of Google's tools, which has been accumulating over the course of the last 20 years. Now, it's been just over 20 years since Google AdWords hit the scene, which was a monumental event in digital advertising, probably second only to, at least from our perspective, when Facebook put ads in the newsfeed and started giving us, the advertiser, exceptional targeting in 2013. Now, in 2022, Google has done the same with Performance Max. The difference is that Google is an ecosystem. It's not an app on your phone. Google is more than just search queries. It's more than search results that you see. It's Google Drive. It's Google Gmail. It's Google Sheets. It's Google Docs. It's all the websites that you visit. Google Analytics, which is on 99.9% of all websites in the world. Google understands who you are as a consumer. And in fact, Google is 1,300 times smarter than Facebook because it has more psychographic and demographic profiling factors than any other platform on the internet. And the reason is because Google is so embedded in our lives. We use Google phones. We use Google search engine. We use Waze as an app that tells us to go from here to there. We use Google Photos. It has pictures of my kids and my wife. And, when my kids were born 20 years ago, Google knows so much about who I am because they are the internet. Facebook, yes, it's an incredibly powerful platform, and it's still one that we leverage here at Tier 11. And in fact, with 3 billion monthly active users, why would we ever ignore it? But the point is if you can combine Facebook with Google, that's where advertising and digital marketing nirvana exists as of this recording. Now, Google has all this data on its users, but it also has all this data on everyone on the planet. Because let's say you don't use Gmail, but you probably communicate with somebody who does use Gmail. So they're aggregating and collecting data on your psychographic and demographic factors, as well as all of its individual users. To the point where Google actually has 72 million plus psychographic and demographic profiling factors on every human on the planet, which makes it 1,300 times smarter than Facebook. Facebook has 55,000. Now, what does this mean to you as the advertiser? It means there's more data, and that means that the platform and the AI that's embedded inside Google is now more powerful than it's ever been. Now, the key is that Google has never unleashed all the tools as an advertiser up until now, up until Performance Max. And that's why we're so excited as a predominantly social media advertising agency that has a Google division over the course of the last 2 to 3 years. We finally see a way in which to leverage Google for top of funnel acquisition. Not bottom of funnel, top of funnel. Here, as opposed to there. Now, the point is that Facebook is extremely good at top of funnel. For cold traffic and for awareness, it's very, very effective. Now, we use a combination of Facebook and Google to acquire those customers in the middle of the funnel and at the bottom of the funnel. But with Performance Max, Google now rivals Facebook at top of funnel because it's now leveraging all the tools that it has been accumulating over the course of the last 20 plus years while Facebook was going before Congress, facing the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Mark Zuckerberg was being slandered and turned into a meme. All of a sudden, Google is now the most powerful advertising tool and platform on the planet because of these 72 million data points. And that's why we're so excited, because now Google Performance Max can be used as a customer acquisition tool. Whereas before, it was a middle of funnel, bottom of funnel type of tool. The paradigm has now shifted. So most Google agencies are going to look at this and say, hey, this is no longer a middle and a bottom of the funnel. It's a top of funnel campaign style that we're not familiar with, and they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle because they don't have the creative or the strategic mindset to think of Performance Max as a customer getting mechanism. Especially when you combine Google with Facebook, it's the most amazing 1-2 punch, and we are seeing absolutely amazing results with our Google Performance Max customers, migrating them away from Google Shopping, migrating them away from just pure YouTube, migrating them away from Google Search only to be a customer acquisition behemoth, especially when it's in combination with Facebook. You have 72 million data points, you have 55,000 data points on each individual users. Now you really have something to go out there and acquire customers at affordable CPAs, a ROAS that you can afford as a business. So we're excited about Performance Max for this reason. And if you'd like to get in on the party, so to speak, or at least talk to someone who can help you leverage 72 million data points in a platform that's 1,300 times smarter than just Facebook alone, click the link in and around this video here, schedule a call with one of our sales professionals so we can help you unlock your online potential using Google Performance Max. Talk to you on the inside.